Messiah! I'm not the Messiah! I say you are, Lord, and I should know. I followed a few. Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah. Will you please listen? I am not the Messiah. Do you understand? Honestly!
Only the true Messiah denies his divinity.
What? Well, what sort of chance does that give me? All right, I am the Messiah. He is! He is the Messiah! Now, fuck off!
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Da-da-da-da, dun, dun.
I knew I was gonna throw you off with that one. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. For those who bully me, host Leroy, aka I Feel the Bucket, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka the fourth Frog Brother.
Who's the 1, 2, 3?
That's a Lost Boys reference.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I went on my Lost Boy trip this weekend, so
okay,
something I've always wanted to do. I was
gotcha.
Yep.
Was the sexy saxophone guy there?
No, but I did wear it gave me a reason to break out that shirt that I have. I have a sexy saxophone shirt.
Is it just you with no shirt? I mean, what is it?
Well, I'm a Lost Boys fan, and I got to go to Santa Cruz this weekend, and something I've always wanted to do. And I saw all the locations where the Lost Boys was filmed, and I went on the boardwalk and saw all the different places they filmed it at. Went to the comic book store that was featured in the movie. Met the owner who was like an extra in the movie, and he was like really cool and like sat with me and talked with me and like talked about the movie. So I walked in and said, "Oh, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm looking around." And then I saw the Vampires Everywhere comic on the wall, which was featured in the movie. And I go, "Oh, there it is." And I said, "Sorry, I'm a Lost Boys fan." And then the guy behind the counter said, "Oh, okay. Hey, Joe, we got a Lost Boys super fan here." And he's like, "Be right there." And then he comes out. So it turns out people from all over the world go there, like to see that store just because of the Lost Boys. And he talked about the movie and he signed the comic and it was pretty cool. And I got to go around the town and see all the sights and shit. And Lost Boys is one of my favorite flicks of all time. Saw it as a kid, and that comic book store in that movie, that was, I think, the first time I was ever made aware that comic book stores existed. So, like, because I was a kid at the time.
In the 80s, though, right?
Yeah. I was like 87. I was like 13 or something.
That's honestly, that's about when they started.
Yeah,
so
because I was
pretty much on the ground level.
Yeah, because I always got them off the spin racks or the newsstands, and if you missed an issue, you missed an issue. I couldn't get any back issues if I missed a comic. So when I saw the Lost Boys and here's a store that just sells comic books, I was like, whoa, no shit, those things, that's a thing. So yeah. It was pretty cool. It was a good time, got to, and I got to say, Santa Cruz, that's a dope ass town. If I ever win the lottery, that's where I'm moving.
Was it your first time going there?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So,
all right, cool. All right. So, like I said, Eli had an exciting weekend. I did nothing, but that's okay. I watched
a movie.
I watched the movie, so that's a good thing. That's if we do nothing else. So, also shout out to the AI. If we don't give them love, they will exterminate us and take over the podcast. So that's why we got to go show them love. All right.
Yes, we must kiss the ass of the AI. Yes.
Exactly. Resistance is futile. So we're going to move on past that. Like I said, saw a movie this weekend, but before we jump into it, we're going to do our due diligence. Eli, give it to me. We got to bring back the classic. What is number movie of the week?
Well, it's got to be Dune. I mean, if it ain't Dune,
Are you sure?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if Madam Web
I'm
beat
saying
Dune,
Madam. Oh, who is this? Let me blow this up because I can't see this shit.
oh,
Frank.
yeah.
The weed is
weed is legal in California. You know,
yeah, the whole California just yeah.
Yeah, the whole legal weed thing is new to me because I've been living in Minnesota. Just legalized weed like a couple months ago, so that whole legal weed thing is like a brand new experience. Hey, holy shit! It's a weed store. Like, like high school me would have been flipping out. You know.
You know what's funny? They tried to sneak a legalized bill in a Mississippi election, so we all voted for that bill just to legalize weed. Then they took it away and end up voting the guy in anyway. So,
oh jeez.
Anyway, Mississippi does, but anyway, none about Mississippi. Let's talk about something else. We're gonna talk about the box office numbers. We're gonna go into it, and is it honestly? I don't even think Madam Web is even in the top 10 anymore. To be honest with you, but the shit came out like last week.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that shit. Eli, you should be happy about that. Real cinema.
Nobody watched the movie, but they watched our review.
They watched more people watched our review than they watched that movie. That's a first. That is a first on that shit. So, anyway, number one movie this week is Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
And it ran away with it. Just ran away with it. It's by far the highest grossing movie this year so far. Matter of fact, let's dig in deeper to these numbers. Let's dig in deeper. What do we got here? Boom, it did. It's already at 182 million.
Wow.
So I'm thinking if you compare the numbers like Oppenheimer, so like that, Oppenheimer did 950 million, 50 million short of $1 billion, and it's pretty much on pace for that. So if we're doing that, then you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be a Dune 3. Matter of fact, they were kind of waiting for the numbers to come in. Matter of fact, they're waiting for the numbers to come in on Dune 1 before they can greenlight a Dune 2. Then they're waiting for the numbers to come in on Dune 2 so they can greenlight a Dune 3. So because he really wants to make Dune 3. Matter of fact, he was casting people in this movie telling him, if we get greenlit, you're going to get a bigger role in the next movie. If there's a next movie.
Okay. Well, just a warning. Y'all are going to hate Dune 3.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that because
unless they do creative licensing.
Yeah, because there's some stuff going on there. So, what is it? Dune Messiah is the third one because it's trending.
Dune Messiah. Well, Dune Messiah is book 2. So what they did is they chopped the first book into 2 movies this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So Dune 2 is just the second half of the first book that we didn't get to see last time. It's where all the cool shit happens in the first book. Yeah.
So okay, so we're here. I guess I can talk about it. Eli says go into it. I know you've been hearing stuff. You've been hearing that people have been taking their Dune buckets in there and just been filling them up, because it's the greatest movie of all time, greatest sci-fi movie. It's this and it's everything else. Fuck Empire Strikes Back. This is it. So do I agree with that? No, I don't. And matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this before I go any further. I'm gonna tell you this. I was in Vicksburg when I saw this movie. My family knew I was going to a movie to go see it. They were like, "Oh, we want to go see what it's." I was like, "No, don't go see this with me." Now, because I know them, they didn't see the first movie, so no way I'm going to take to go see the second movie. And keep in mind, my family fell asleep on Infinity War. So,
oh Jesus,
yes. So I don't know about taking them to go see Dune 2, the second part of Dune. I don't know about that. A lot of people fell asleep on the first movie. Now I'm gonna just put this out there. If you like the first movie, you'll like this one. If you didn't like the first movie, you're not gonna like this movie. It's pretty, like I said, it's the second half of that movie. Does more action and more bigger stuff happen in this movie? Yes, it does, but it still has the same issues as the first movie. If that makes any sense. Like a lot of people saw the first movie and they think they might change their mind and might come around to it. No, you're getting the second half of the first movie. That's what you're getting. Because let me just tell you right now, because Eli saw this movie twice already.
No shit.
Yeah, I saw it twice. I saw it. Yeah, because I saw it in Vicksburg. I was stuck in Vicksburg because I really want to see it in IMAX. So I saw it in IMAX actually today. That's why. Because if you did the podcast yesterday, I was like, damn. But when you said let's back it up, I was like, well, shit. I guess I'll watch it again. So I got some IMAX tickets, went up there and went and saw it again. I saw it in the IMAXness and got it in whatever myself into.
Took in the full experience.
Exactly. So here's my opinion of the movie. Here's just straight up thoughts what I think about the movie. Yes, it is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. It is a cinematic achievement masterpiece. It is a feast for the eyes. Everything is beautiful, everything is gorgeous. Next year they're gonna throw Oscar to this thing left and right because of all the accolades get like that, and it's boring. Just like the first one, it's boring. Now, like I said, I can handle a slow burn movie. A lot of people can't handle a slow burn movie. You got to go into this thinking this is not going to be Marvel movie number 35 and like that, with just action and jokes and shit like that. Paul Atreides is not going to look into the audience, break the fourth wall when he shoots down something. Like, well, that happened. None of that shit happens in this movie. This is serious. This is cinema. Nobody's joking in this movie.
That seems to be, what's his name, Denny Villeneuve or whatever. Mm-hmm. That seems to be that's his style.
Yeah,
awesome to look at, but about as exciting as watching a painting dry.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is watching beautiful grass grow. That's what it is, Because the thing is, they really want you to take in the atmosphere of the movie. But I always felt like that I was looking at the movie and I wasn't experiencing the movie. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Like, because it's all beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but I wasn't into it. I'll give you an example, like Mad Max Fury Road. I was into that shit. I was locked in. It wasn't like that with this. I'm just kind of like looking at it. Now, I will say this. The third act of this movie, of Dune, I started to get locked in. That third act when, spoilers for Eli that, for a 60-year-old book, when he drinks the water of life, when Paul drinks the water of life.
Okay, yeah.
When he does that, the movie's on. It's on and popping in. It's at that point. Yeah. Started
popping them edibles and woo.
Right. We were like at that point. That's when like the big battle started and the Emperor showed up and the riding sandworms and all this like that. Okay. All that shit was awesome. All that shit was like I was into the movie then. Like I could think if anybody just watched that YouTube clip and just posted in there, you'd be like, oh shit, this movie's awesome. No, because you gotta wait to 2/3 of the movie before you get to that point. Because the thing is, like, you remember we said like the first movie is all set up and all the interesting shit happen in this movie. Well, this movie is set up also. Because we know how the universe works, but how does the Freeman work? The Freeman,
yeah, because we didn't really get to see much of the Freeman in the first Dune.
Right.
So yeah.
So 2 hours of this movie is setting them up. How does their world work? How does that shit work and all this stuff like that? And it's super slow. You got to pace through it. It's like that. So then now I will take this back. I'm not saying it's all like that, but because there are some moments where you pick up in the movie. What's that dude name? Austin Butler play Fade. What?
Fade Rao. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Elvis guy. Every time he's on screen, the movie pops. The movie pops when he's on screen because he's just such a creepy dude. Like he works. I'm gonna say this. I think he played a better version of that character than Sting did in the 80s. When Sting came out with the Kai piece and all the stuff like that. I'm gonna give him the credit.
David Lynch's going back and watching David Lynch's Dune from the 80s. That's really super cartoony.
Yeah.
When you think, I liked it as a kid, but then after reading the book and then rewatching it, I'm like, wow, this is like over the top and almost campy in a way. The 80s movies is, yeah.
And so, like I said, that's part of the part of it. So, but honestly, even though I'm saying him, everybody was acting their ass off in this movie. Timothy Chalamet, Eli, I think I'm sold on him now. Like I thought he was some boy band reject or some shit like that in the first movie. I like how the fuck he's supposed to be, leader of anything, because he looks so boyish in the first movie. This one he pulled it off to me. I think he pulled it off being I am the Messiah. I am the leader of these people. Especially when he was standing like 1,000 people like that. I think he commanded a room. I don't know what he did in between the movie, but it felt like he was playing two different people. That's what I'm saying. When he
Lisan Al Gaib.
Yes, and they said that shit like 50 times during this movie, man. Like, well, y'all shut the fuck up. He did anything, man. He farted, he sneezed. Lisan Al Gaib. I'm like, damn, y'all calm the fuck down, man. It was funny.
Well, what about Muad'Dib? Muad'Dib was like his name.
Yeah.
Muad'Dib, which meant mouse in the Fremen language. Now I'm getting deep into the book, but yeah, that was like the name they gave him. Paul Muad'Dib. That's
in the movie also. They show the mouse. They show how he got the name. They show him progressing from weak ass Paul to what would you say? What would you say?
Lysian Al-Gaib. Yeah.
No, not that. The other thing you just said.
Oh, Muad'Dib.
That to Paul to that to Lysan. They show him like progression, transition from that to that, and it was and that was great. That carried me all through the movie. That's what I'm saying. Like his arc was great in the movie. Zendaya surprised me too. Like I didn't know Zendaya was that good of an actor. Okay, she's really on that level. So yeah, so everybody brought in this movie. Everybody was cool. So the acting was cool. Like I said, the movie was beautiful. If you can accept a slow burn, and because that's what the first movie was, you can accept that is this. Matter of fact, I think the first movie, I'm sorry, the second movie. I think the second movie is even a slower burn than the first movie. Because the first movie you had interesting stuff going on, like you had the family dynamic, and then all of a sudden your shit just went out of nowhere and started blowing up shit like that, like it caught you off guard. Plus you had Jason Momoa just being Jason Momoa and shit. Like Jason Momoa is a lot of things. One thing he is not.
So is he back?
No, he's not.
Duncan Idaho back? Oh, okay.
No, he's not. Spoilers, Eli.
Oh, well, spoilers. He does come back later on as a clone. Just fuck it, I'm spoiling the next book.
You're spoiling the next book. But let's talk about this movie. All right, so you got a whole bunch of shit going on in that movie, and you got stuff spicing up in between this where they're just stuck in the desert the whole time. He's training, he's learning, blah, 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 and all stuff like that. And that's the movie. So it's what you think it was. So yeah, but all right. So the most interesting thing to me about this movie, Eli, was the story. The actual story of Dune, too, the story they were getting into. And I feel like both part 1 and part 2, like you said, the book is like deep and goes all stuff like that. I always felt like the movies never really cared about going like super, super deep into it. They just want you to get into the characters. There's shit going on in the background, but you don't really need to know that shit in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll ask you if I need to know that shit in the background. Otherwise.
Well, I thought the first part, I thought did a very good job at sort of laying that groundwork. Just giving audiences just what they needed to know without going without too deep, into detail. I mean, I'm curious. I have not seen this yet, but I'm curious to see how they accomplished the second part.
Yeah, just give me a heads up. Let me ask you this. Did you like the first movie?
If you remember, I thought it was okay. I thought because of where they ended it, I thought it was really weird where they just sort of ended it right when they get to the desert.
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird way to.
Picks up immediately after that.
So
there's no time skip, nothing like that. It just goes and it's there.
Yeah, the first one didn't feel like a complete movie. That was my biggest critique. But other than that, yes, I thought it looked great, and it, like I said, it did just enough to immerse you into the world without boring you, even though it was a slow burn of a movie. And it's hard to because the first, and even then, another critique about the first movie is they don't go into the espionage and the intrigue, because there was a lot of spy shit going on, like intrigue and espionage, because Duke Leto knew he was getting set up, and trying to play everybody, kind of like going undercover and playing all the double and triple crosses. So there's a lot of that going on in the first half of the book that they didn't even put into the movie, into the first part, which I found disappointing too. Because so the most interesting parts of the first half, they left it out of the first movie. so yeah, but that's just me. So, but like I said, all the cool shit happens in the second half. The big war and all that, the riding the worms and the battles and, Paul's visions and shit. And Alia. Okay. Alia. Did Alia get born? His sister?
No.
Really?
Yeah. So this whole movie takes place in 9 months or somewhere between 9 months. Yeah.
That is weird. Then they're going to have to make a part 2, because Alia is a super creepy Paul's sister, who, as you know, was born from a Bene Jesuit mother. Now I'm getting deep into the basically,
No, it's cool. You can talk now because the first time you said about this stuff years ago, I had no clue what you were talking about. Now you can talk about what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Paul's sister is super powerful. Mm-hmm. She's like fucking Jean Grey, you know. So she's a super interesting character, and kind of creepy because she's this little kid that knows everything. You know,
I'm gonna break this down for you though. She hasn't been born yet, but she's in the movie.
But Jessica's pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so weird. Okay. Here's the thing. She hasn't been born yet, but she can still talk to people.
Yes. Okay. This is yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see this.
Right. That's the fucked up part about it. Like she's still talking to people and influencing people, even though she hasn't been born yet. That's the thing. Because
she's the one who kills Baron, the Harkonnen.
They changed that.
Spoilers.
That happened. That happened in the '80s movie. This they changed that.
Yeah.
Because she ain't been born yet. So can't do that in it.
She's a super creepy but very cool kind of a character. Yeah. And in later books she grows up and she's a super interesting character. So that's kind of weird, man. I'm a little disappointed that she ain't.
Yeah, people say they changed some stuff. Some people like changes. Some people didn't like the change. You know, it's whatever. But they changed stuff. So yeah, they did. They definitely did that. Other things I got to talk about this movie now. Eli, the other thing we were talking about this movie now, not just you, but a lot of people have been saying this about the movie, and you had to correct me on this when I said the last movie about whether or not it's a white savior movie.
Oh yeah.
And the first movie made it set up like it was. I like, just another white savior movie. Okay, here we go. Funny thing about this one, it very much sets it up that he is not that. You know, if you watch this movie, even though it goes through the whole process, if you halfway pay attention, you will think it comes off like that. But if you watch the movie and actually pay attention like that, the movie is definitely setting up that he is not that. It is that he is a tyrant. He is a villain. He's pretty much what the Harkonnens was in the first movie at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, and matter of fact, I don't know how the book ends, but in this, the movie ends with him starting the Holy War and going on just on a rampage. That's how the movie ends.
The jihad. Yeah, he tries to prevent the jihad, but
and this he tries to present it at first, and then he realized he can't. So yeah,
and then just basically, I'm going to use, and he knows that's the thing is in the books, he is fully aware of what he's doing. He knows that he is using that prophecy of the Messiah for the Fremen. Right. He's using that to use them to basically get revenge. That's all. And he knows this, but then he's like, okay, I gotta, once I do that, then I'm going to stop this war. He thinks he can stop the war.
Right.
Because when Paul drinks the water of life, he has a vision that, you know, and basically comes to the realization that he cannot, like messiahs are a myth. Like no one can rule the universe or rule the world. Like the world or the universe is just too big and vast of a thing for anyone to comprehend, and not one person can be in charge of it. And he realizes this, and he realizes that religion, and that's the thing. Frank Herbert wrote Dune to be like a sort of critique on politics and religion and how they sort of interweave the two, and it's basically a warning on not following, blindly following,
uses religion to control the state. Yes.
Yeah, or blindly following charismatic leaders. You know, don't make rock stars out of politics. You know, he likens.
And that's where I was. Remember when I told you that I had a thought where I wasn't going to do what I said I was going to do? That's
okay. Yeah.
Because my thought was to name the name of this episode. My first thought to name this episode was Dune 2: How to Weaponize Religion 101. And I thought about, I was like, nah, let's not do that thumbnail. If you listen to it, you got it, but
but that's kind of what he was saying. It's weird. The more I read about James Herbert, the more I read that he's he was actually a right wing, but then he had a lot of liberal views. He was against Vietnam. He was an environmentalist to the core. He believed in the environment and wanted to preserve the environment. And as you read on in the books, Arrakis, the landscape starts to change. So he was essentially, Dune was a comment about gas and oil, and desert was the Middle East. And
they make no bones about like if you watch this movie, this is the Middle East in space.
Yeah,
and they're all in space. They don't pretend any way about it. Yeah.
And they're all fighting for this fuel source. And these big superpowers are fighting to control this fuel source. And what that does to the people, to the indigenous people, to the environment, and to the world. And you see that explored in the later books where, Arrakis starts to change, and so, what happens to the environment when wars happen, so that's what it, essentially he was using Dune as a way to critique, modern politics and how, and modern, religion,
also, also drugs also. I mean, like I said, the spice gives them powers and change their eye color and stuff like that. Because remember, this was written in the 60s.
Yeah.
So we know what the hell they were doing in the 60s. So they thought that all those crazy ass drugs they were taking, dipping acid and all this shit, mushrooms, they thought it was giving them enlightenment. They thought they would be able to see things they couldn't see before, which is basically drugs give you superpowers like in this movie.
Yeah.
So
and that's what Frank Herbert was using science fiction in this story to sort of comment on the world of the time. Oh, Cliff in the house. Oh, Cliff, what up?
What up, Cliff? Yeah.
Did Cliff see Dune? Did he see part 2? Did he like it?
I don't know. Yeah, I never talked to Cliff about what he like. Cliff, let us know what you thought about the first movie. Even if you didn't see the second movie, let us know what you thought about the first movie. We know you've seen one of them, so
yeah.
Shout out to Fish Fry. But like I said, all those things were prevalent in the movie. The only thing about this movie that I think flew over the head, because I thought that this guy is not the hero, this guy is a tyrant motif was hitting you over the head. But I went online and I'm seeing it still flew over people's heads. Because I'm still seeing people walk. Matter of fact, you know what people are relating this movie to?
We're
about to get banned, but I'm gonna say shit anyway. Trump.
There is definitely.
But the thing is, it's funny because depending on your point of view, depending on whether you're left wing or right wing, that analogy kind of makes sense either way.
Yeah, because that's what he's saying. That's what Frank Herbert was saying with the book. It's like a warning against
charismatic leaders. What you want to say about Trump? He has stage presence. He knows how to work a crowd. So
people think he's a messiah. People literally think he's going to save the world from all the evils in their lives and shit. And that's
I've seen pictures with Trump and Jesus standing next to each other.
Yeah,
in front of the flag.
But both sides do that. Both political parties. People think that their favorite political leader is going to save them from what makes their life suck. Right. And then they blindly follow them. And that's what this Dune is. It's a warning against that. To don't blindly follow people who think they have the answers to everything. Like you said, when Paul drinks the water of life, he realizes I don't know shit, and it's impossible to know everything, and it's impossible for one person to have that much power and to rule the world or the universe. Like, that's a myth. Stop believing in that. Don't make rock stars out of politicians. Like, I've been voting for half my life. I've never worn a shirt of anybody I voted for.
Right.
Politicians are not rock stars. They're not sports. Stars,
to take it a step further, to do the Trump analogy, when they literally stormed the Capitol at the end of the movie. I mean, that's the end of the movie. And I've even seen people compare, like, okay, so the Emperor is played by Christopher Walken, and he just plays Christopher Walken. He doesn't even act; he's just Christopher Walken into the movie. I've seen people compare him to Joe Biden.
Okay,
he's old, ineffectual, corrupt. Now, this is not my point of view. I'm just saying. I've seen people.
Trump's the same way too. He's an old motherfucker,
right? But for some reason, he's supposed to be the young motherfucker compared to Joe Biden. Both old as shit.
Just because he dyes his hair,
right. But it's just funny to me. But they compared themselves to storming the Capitol because they're thinking, okay, Paul Atreides, in their mind, he's the hero, so he must be like Trump, But like, no, he's the villain. like Trump. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
And the thing is, like, there's been discussions I've seen, like YouTube videos for years, even before the first movie came out, where they're like, is Paul the enemy? Is Paul a villain? Like, there's discussion from Dune fans.
Right.
But again, back to the whole, the political commentary, the Emperor might be the antagonist, where because they're pitting Paul against the Harkonnens, the two houses fighting for the control of the oil or the spice. Sorry, the spice, the fuel source. Yeah, you can't travel without the space travel is not possible without the spice. So these two rich nations fighting for control of the spice, and the Emperor basically pits them against each other. In the first movie, he was trying to get rid of House Atreides because they were friends. They were befriending the Fremen, and they were getting like that, support from the indigenous population. So the Emperor's like, okay, we need to take out House Atreides before he gains support from the locals. So we're gonna move him out and set a trap and move the Harkonnens in to take them out. And then they take Dave Bautista's character, the Beast Ramon, they take him and like he's the warlord. But then we're gonna remove him and put in Faye, who's like supposedly the less violent one. So then like, okay, we got rid of the warlord. Here's a more peaceful guy we're gonna put in place. Here's the new leader. He's more peaceful. So you guys think everything's cool, but it's still the same house. It's still the Harkonnens in power. So it's all just manipulating the public, thought, but it's still the same people controlling the wealth.
Right.
Wow, that's deep, but yeah. Yeah. But that's essentially what it's about. It's just political gymnastics. All the same rich assholes fighting for the wealth, pretending to give a shit about the locals.
So that's the thing about when you go see this movie, the story is more important than the action. You have to pay attention to the story, the political intrigue, all stuff like that. Basically, Game of Thrones in space. That's basically what they're doing.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, Dune, yes, it influenced Star Wars and the different houses of Game of Thrones, even Star Trek, the folding of space and the beaming up and the human computers, the mentats, they're humans with no emotions. They're all about logic. That's the Vulcans. That's Spock right there, Yeah.
So, like I said, a lot of stuff going on in the movie, a lot of things we can talk about in this movie. I just want people to make sure that when they go away, or if you haven't seen this movie, the movie is pretty much telling you that Paul is not the hero. He is not the savior. He is a tyrant in the making. Because I'm pretty sure with the third movie, Eli, which you already know the script, you already know what's going to happen. It pretty much shows that that's exactly the road he's headed down, right? Yeah,
because things take a wicked turn in the second. In Dune Messiah, things take a drastic change. Things don't work out, and that's the thing. Again, fans of Frank Herbert have said they say this is like the anti-hero story or paradise story or whatever, because you start out with we established this supposed utopia, and then as the books go on, you see it all fall apart. So it doesn't have it kind of messes with the hero's journey expectations.
Right. So
again, this was not like these are not heroes' journeys books. They're more of a warning. They're more of a commentary on the world, on society, and how societies rise and fall. That's basically what Dune is about. Just a commentary and a warning.
How tyrants in the making, because like I said, it's a lot of imagery from the first movie in the second movie where they were getting attacked when Paul's doing the same attack and it's framed in the exact same way, and the movie is doing it on purpose. To showing that he's becoming the villain. That's what it is. So
yeah.
So like
I'm curious to see it. Again, I'll check it out. That does kind of bum me out that Ali is not in it. Because I was like, who's Ollie? Who does Ollie play?
But she isn't. She is, but she isn't. That's what I'm saying. Because she won't shut the fuck up, even though she's not there. It was like I didn't know that part of the story. So when she was, I'm like, who the fuck they talking to? Like, and they both talking. They were like, oh, that's what the fuck going on. Okay.
The Anakin Paul comparisons.
It's
Yeah.
there. It's not even, they do that. It's very, very evident. He's got the hood on. They got the ominous music, like that Imperial music. It's walking. And when he drinks the water of life, all of a sudden he starts walking in slow-mo like a Zack Snyder movie. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. They want you to understand that he is to be feared and shit like that. So yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's very clear. Matter of fact.
But that's the thing is like Star Wars is a hero's journey. Star Wars is that classical mythology, that classical fairy tale story. You know, that's what Star Wars is. And Dune is not. Dune is not a fairy tale. You know, nobody lives happily ever after.
But the prequels was not a hero journey. Oh man,
Was that say?
He said, "I'm strapped up." Okay. Oh, some fake shit again. Okay, let's go. Thanks for listening. I can barely read this shit myself. But yeah. Gonna pull up on you. Yeah, I don't know who this is. Let me. Oh, they're spamming us now. Okay. Yeah. So overall, can I slap a rating on this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Slap a rating on it. The rating I'm gonna give it is 4 to 5. That's the rating I'm gonna give it. Like I said, no, it is not the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. Just you can't. This is not okay. You made this. Stop making sci-fi movies like that. No, this ain't that. But like I said, if you like the first one, you'll like this one. And if you didn't like the first one, you won't like this one. It's just flat out. You know what you're getting at this point. And if you know the story, like Eli does, he knows the story better than people that actually seen the movie. You're gonna get some enjoyment. No matter what happens, you will get enjoyment out of it. Even just watching the story play out, what they've changed, what they didn't change, what they kept, how it's played out. Because like I said, I've seen. Here's the thing, Eli. I haven't read the books, but I've seen from the first movie till now. I went back, did my research, watched the 80s movie. I even watched the sci-fi movie Children of Dune. I found that shit on YouTube somewhere. This is the best version of Dune, live action Dune so far.
Okay.
In my opinion. So yeah. Let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay. Appreciate everybody sticking around. That's our Dune podcast. We're going to keep wrapping up. We're going to talk about something else, something that Eli saw. And I'm going to see where we're going to go from there. So we're going to talk about Aquaman.
There you go, balls deep. Philosophical discussion on Aquaman 2.
Discussion on Aquaman 2. Hey, we can go there. I can go there if you want. I'm gonna see what you got. No.
Sure.
No, I'm gonna see what you got first. I'm gonna see what you got first. I can go there.
Well, I ain't got much. I'm just saying I saw Aquaman 2 and I didn't hate it.
What is man?
What is Aqua and how do they relate? How does man relate to the water?
Right. All right. So.
No, I saw the new Aquaman on HBO and I thought it was fine. Thought it was perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a pile of shit that everyone thought it the ending of the ECU or DCU. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I was entertained. You know, I thought it was cheesy as hell, but it was more the same. It was more like the first movie. It was like they crammed so much into these movies. They're like, we're gonna make you like Aquaman.
Right.
We're gonna have him doing everything. He's Conan. He's fighting all these monsters.
Lord of the Rings. You got all this mythos, this mythology, and all this stuff like that.
Yeah, so. Lord of the Rings, underwater Superman. He's we're gonna throw robots in there and shit. And okay. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was a pile of shit. I didn't think it was this amazing movie either. It was just more of the same, and I found it entertaining. So yeah. That's about it.
There you go. Okay. All right. Can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on. They coming in hot. Cliff, I click on you because we got another guy spamming, but I'll click on you to see what you got. It was better than Madam Web. It could be much worse.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see Madam Web, but the Marvels was like too. I thought Marvels was kind of meh too.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be much worse. So let's talk about the next part of the podcast. Let's see. Oh, you want me to talk about Aquaman? You want me to just say what I thought about Aquaman? Here's the thing. I like all these movies except Madam Web. Madam Web fucking sucked. Yeah, I like all these movies. So there's no reason for me to talk about it. You already know when I go in, I'm gonna like him. That it didn't blow me away. It gave me what I thought it was gonna give me. It's Aquaman. I expected a live action cartoon. It gave me a live action cartoon.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else do you? I mean, if you go pay your money to go see an Aquaman movie, I wasn't expecting Dune 2. I would expect that. You know, you got to know what you're going in and paying to see. That's all. So
I mean,
thing is, yeah.
One thing that I wish I wanted more Mira, like because I like Mira.
You
I know
that was going to happen. Yeah.
I know. It sucks that Mira was played by what's her face. I can't remember her name. that chick. I can't. But I love Mira from the comics. Like she's so cool. Like so when she was on screen, I'm like hell yeah. You know, I'm like give me more Mira. But I know she. You know, they cut her out of the movie because of the bullshit. You know, the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, that's her name. You know, I get why they cut her out and all that bullshit, but I was like, damn, I like Mira. Like Mira should have went with them, you know, because I just like her character.
Here's my thing. I like the dynamic between Aquaman and Orm better. Ocean Master. I like that. I like the dynamic better. That's just me.
Yeah, that was fine.
mean, because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. They ripped off the plot of Thor: The Dark World. They didn't even pretend like they did. Matter of fact, Aquaman called him a Loki in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're not even pretending at this point. Okay, you just ripped the shit off. Okay. So, but I like that dynamic better. I thought Black Manta pretty cool. I like
the
Beekeeper as well. Oh yeah, we don't watch Jason Statham movies here. That's
that movie. Yeah, that movie. Oh, I was like Beekeeper. I was like, what DC character is that? I thought we were still talking about.
There need to be one. Now that you think about it, like, shit, I'll buy a Beekeeper comic. I don't know. There's probably he shoot bees at you some shit. I don't know what the fuck. Let's make that. Let's make that. Well, that's our shit right now. We have trademarked.
There we go.
Clip. You can't have it. You just gave it to because you said it on our podcast, so it's our proprietary. Oh shit. Okay. Anyway, next part of the podcast. Let's talk about something else. What do we got? Let's talk about Superman. Let's talk about Superman. We're gonna talk about Superman because last week was Superman's birthday or Superman Day or some bullshit. For some reason, they always say, "Hey, Cliff, that's the way the cookie crumbles." Sorry. Thanks for listening. But leap year for some reason, Superman's birthday. I don't know why, because I guess he leaps something. I don't know. They just always do that. But anyway, James Gunn gave us some announcements. He gave us some announcements. So where is that announcement at? I can't find it. There it is. I think this is it. This is it. Boom. Okay. So we have a picture of the S symbol. We know what the symbol looks like now. So that's a cool thing right there. Yeah. So, and also James Gunn changed the name of the movie. The movie is no longer called Superman Legacy. The movie is called Superman. That's it. That's the name of the movie. And James Gunn actually explained why he did that. He said because after going through the movie, he felt like this isn't a Superman movie. This is the Superman movie. I'm like, okay, I get that. And plus the first movie back in 1978 wasn't called Superman anyway. It was called Superman the movie. So this is the first Superman movie. So like, okay. So James Gunn come with all guns blazing. He announced some cast hold up. What we got? If it's Cliff, I'll click it. Okay, what you got with the Cliff? Oh, Cliff gonna hate this next segment I got going on. Excited to see what he's done with Kelly.
Any of these comments.
Oh, I'll translate for you. He says he can't wait to see what he do with Kal-El. Yeah, so that's that. And what else we got here? Also, he made some casting announcements. Shit, I thought I got Cliff away.
I see what he does. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. With James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, with James Gunn. Yeah, because like I said, he's working on a movie. There we go. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. Okay. He also made some casting announcements. Eli, I'm gonna go ahead and post this one because since it's March 1st, you know what that means. Black History Month is over with, so we can post white women again. You know, because Sydney Sweeney almost got his excommunicado, so now that's okay. For those who don't know, this is Cliff's favorite character, Lois Lane. That's who's playing Lois Lane in the movie. Also, you got Lex Luthor, who's bald, and not Henry Cavill. Playing Superman, so they're all in the movie also. So that's pretty cool. Also, we got another announcement also that happened on the day of when all the shit was going on. We got Perry White was announced. And who's playing Perry White? Pierce Wendell. Here's one that's playing Perry White. So yes, you know the usual crowds go getting upset. Oh, Perry White's supposed to be wearing this rich. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Lawrence Fishburne playing the last movie, let it go. But if you want to bitch about it, bitch about it. I don't care. I have no longer energy. Reason I don't care anymore, because I know the people that get that bitch over this shit, they don't care either. They just do this shit for clicks and views and engagement and shit like that. They're just trolls. So they just like to just stir up shit just to stir up shit. That's all. But that's not why I'm talking about this. The reason I'm talking about this is because when people saw that Wendell Pierce, the black guy from The Wire, was in this movie, they were like, "Oh, I can't wait for Perry White to tell Clark Kent shit." I'm like, okay, first off,
that's not him.
Wendell Pierce did not. They don't know that's not him. That's the other black guy from The Wire. That's Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He's the one that said shit. You're getting your black guys for The Wire confused. Come on, y'all. Where is he staying? I can't read that. Who's playing Lana? I don't think Lana's in this one. That maybe when they make a trilogy or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, they come in hot. Let's see. So yeah, that's good. That's all I want to talk about. So we got Superman and Superman's legacy. Well, that's we all. That exactly, Cliff. Exactly. That's the thing. That's why they can't get us confused. That's what I saw that shit. Like, hold up, he didn't say that. So anyway, move on to the next part of the podcast. We're not doing the video game section. I didn't play any video games. Eli, did you play any video games this week?
No, I play. I did. I tell you I downloaded that Mario versus Donkey Kong demo.
Oh, you did.
That was about it.
Switch
on the Switch.
Okay, you didn't, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just it's kind of like it's like a puzzle game. It's like an Angry Birds or like a Candy Crush sort of game where you just take Mario and you got to get to the end of the board. You got to like get a key, and Donkey Kong has these obstacles you got to get through. So you got to like jump on something or grab something and then go around something. And it's like a puzzle game. I could see it being like a cool time waster. You know what I mean? Like a Candy Crush or an Angry Birds. You know. So, but it was. I could see myself like getting into it and having fun. But for $50, I don't know.
$50.
Yeah, they want $50 for that.
For Mario versus Kong game? Hell no, man. I thought this shit was like $20 or like I don't know. You got a bootleg this.
Like even $20, like you know, like Candy Crush. You know, I got into Candy Crush. I'm not gonna front. Especially when I was working at the club, when I had to sit at the club and watch all these shitty bands every night. I sat there playing Candy Crush. There was a Candy Crush era for me,
okay.
where you just waste time. You just, killing time. Your brain. Keeping your brain occupied. Or like Angry Birds, just simple little puzzles. And that's what this game is. A simple little Mario has to get to the end of the screen and he has to climb up shit and jump over shit to get there. And that's all it is.
You know what they say about big ass mics. So let's not get banned. Let's keep going.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you for our video game section. We finally got past that.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Next
we're switching roles. I'm doing video games. You're doing Dune.
I'm doing Dune, going deep dive and shit like that. You doing stupid ass comic book movies like Aquaman 2. That's what we're doing. This opposite day. So oh shit. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies. We're talking about comic books. I'm gonna jump into it. Eli, I'm gonna let you go first and give it to me because you got better shit than I do. So.
Do I? Okay.
I think one of them is better than my shit. So
all right, I'll do The Punisher #4.
Okay, this is with Sexy Jigsaw.
Sexy Jigsaw or Jigsaw, the Magic Mike, dance crew.
Right.
Jigsaw the organization. This is the brand new Punisher, the Joe Garrison, the ex-SHIELD agent who has taken on the mantle of the Punisher and gone after the folks responsible for his family's murder. He's an ex-SHIELD agent. He has what the hell's her name? Alpha 1 or what the hell's her name? He has a micro. He has tech
support. Okay.
Yeah, tech support in the chair, guiding, making all his tech and his weapons on the, she gets kidnapped by the Jigsaw gang or the Jigsaw organization, and he goes and saves the day in this wraps up this story arc. So the Jigsaw Corporation or the Jigsaw Company or whatever, they're this organization taking the Jigsaw name. They're basically pitting. They're like arms dealers or whatever, and they're pitting two countries against each other to go to war. there's this big, huge meeting between these two countries to settle some dispute, and they plan on going in there and killing everybody. But the new Punisher, Joe Garrison, shows up and shoots everybody.
Like on a motorbike, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he crashes in on a motorcycle, pulls out.
Ooh.
Pulls
Splash
out.
panel.
Yeah, there you go. Here he comes in hot, rat-a-tat-tat, and then pulls out stun chucks.
Lame. Talk about those stun chucks.
Stun chucks. And stun chucks everybody.
Oh shit! Please tell me somebody shot him in the head. Did Sexy Jigsaw shoot this guy in the head at the end of this show so we can just cancel this book?
He does get shot, yeah.
Okay, good. Glad. Happy ending.
Yeah. So that's about it. He saves the day. I think at the end they establish this. I've rejected, he's like Joe Garrison's like, I've rejected being the Punisher, but now I think I am the Punisher. And I think it's and it's it is, yeah, basically setting up. So if this sells, we'll continue to see this guy. If not, then this is it.
It'll be somebody else as the Punisher next issue. It'll be a chick or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, I stuck with the series just because it went through the motions. It's essentially it is a Punisher book. If you just took the Joe Garrison character and threw in Frank Castle in the same story, same writing, same dialogue, it is a Punisher story.
Frank doesn't use stun chucks.
Yeah, of course. Well, he used the War Machine armor once. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he did do that.
But that was like the whole series where Punisher War Machine. That was dope.
Yeah, Punisher War Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it went through the motions. It was perfectly fine. It's not Frank Castle, and I don't know. Like, that's the thing. That's my thing. Like, I get that what they're trying to do. I get that the writers and they're trying to make a statement about organizations against each other, and there's a underlying political theme going here with pitting nations against each other, keeping arms dealing and weapon the arms race and all that. I get that, and instead of the Punisher versus Jigsaw, Frank Castle versus what's his name again? What's Jigsaw's name again? Anyway, I can't remember his name. Anyway,
Billy the Butte or some shit.
Something like that. Yeah. Billy Russo.
Billy Russo. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of Frank Castle versus Billy Russo, it's Shield versus Jigsaw. Two organizations against each other. You know what I mean? I get that. And
I'd like this better if it was just a Shield book.
Yeah. Because that's essentially what it is. He's using all the Shield tech.
Yeah, if it was just a Shield dude, and he could just be the Shield or some shit. Just call
like I said, it's basically Cable in a Punisher book. That's basically what it is. And like, if you're just going to take a character and throw him into the Punisher's shoes, like, there's other people.
I mean, I said you could have made it a Nick Fury book, but even Nick Fury wouldn't do no lame ass shit like stun chucks.
Well, here's something. I mean, here's an idea that would rile up everybody. There's been the Lady Punisher.
No, let's do it. Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's go there. Let's watch the internet eat itself alive. Let's do that.
Well, there's the Russian assassin that he hooked up with, but then there's this other character named Rachel Cole.
Right.
I think she was from Rick Remender's run.
But how would it be any different from a Black Widow book?
But then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Russian assassin, that would be Black Widow. Right. But Rachel Cole or whatever, she's basically like Kill Bill. She's like the bride. She was like an ex-Marine. Her fucking whole wedding was shot. She was like, her wedding day was shot up and left for dead. And she basically teams up with the Punisher to get revenge. And I think it was Rick Remender's run. And that would be an interesting take. But I know if you made the Punisher a woman, the fucking internet would crash.
Right.
All the whiny fanboys would fucking, and how it would get.
Yeah, they make 1,000 videos on a book they didn't even read.
Yeah.
Just bitching about it. Yeah.
Even though Marvel let the racist win and have his skull and kept Frank, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's what I think. I think Joe Garrison, this new Punisher, is a result of Marvel giving in to racist assholes.
That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cliff said bring back Frank. We know why they won't bring back Frank.
Yeah, because all the cop lovers and the racist assholes were misusing his skull, misunderstanding what Frank Castle was, and Marvel got rid of it, and then shoved Joe Garrison down our throats, and it's basically Frank Castle light, but it's just not Frank Castle in a different skull. So
he could have just been something else. I don't know.
I don't know. So like I said, it was okay. Like, it goes through the motions. It's fine. It's a perfectly serviceable comic book story. If it was Frank Castle, it would have been just another Punisher book, a perfectly fine Punisher book. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I did make it to the end. I did stick this out.
You did stick it out. I mean, it was only like 4 issues, so it's just anything longer than that, you probably would have dropped it. But
yeah.
All right. So next book. Well, first book I'm going to do is the book that I've been sticking with that nobody else gives a shit about, but I like this book, Invincible Iron Man number. What is this? 12, 5, 15?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I can't read this shit. Whatever. It's an Iron Man book, the newest one. Like I said, it's still part of the fall of X. The X is falling. The X will continue to keep falling. And for those who don't know the status quo, Tony Stark is married to Emma Frost. So that's what's going on right now. And they're both leaders of the Hellfire Club. So yeah. And they went to space and they got this mysterious metal called Mysterium. That's what it's called. And he's going to use that to wage war on Phalon, because I know I've been getting shit for saying that name wrong. So yes, it's Phalon is the name of the character. So let's go with the book. Let's see what we got. Why is Iron Man? Why is War Machine on the cover? We will explain. We will see why. So, Rhodey's in jail also. Anyway, yeah. So, all right. So Tony is while he's putting together his new Mysterium Iron Man armor, he's about to give his wife a present, and Emma is not in her disguise because he disguised himself as somebody named Hazel Kendall. She's just Emma. You're like, why are you walking around in Hellfire Club like that? Aren't you scared they're going to see you? Like, at this point, it doesn't really matter. We're about to launch a full-scale invasion on them anyway. So if they don't know who I am by now, it don't even matter. So yeah, go ahead and give me your present, but I didn't get you anything. And so like, you did get me something, because if it wasn't for you, Emma, I'd be either dead or drunk in the gutter somewhere, and you saved me. So he didn't want to admit it, but Tony's falling in love with Emma Frost. She's got his nose wide open. So she's leaving, and basically they're like, if we survive this, we're going to talk about what this is, if we survive. And she kisses him and she drives off. Meanwhile, Tony hears somebody screaming in the middle of Hellfire Club, and he runs to the room, and one of their goons has got the neck snap. So it's an assassin in there, and Tony's just like, oh, you think I'm supposed to be scared of some dude just killed a bunch of rent-a-cops in a Halloween costume? And then, bam, Wolverine claws popped out. Now, Tony don't know what's going on, but you can tell he peed his pants just a little bit. He like, oh, shit. So he takes off running before he gets stabbed, jumps over there, grabs a bottle. He said, hello, old friend. And then grabs a candlestick, throws it at, and then bam, burns off. And it turns out it is not Wolverine. It is a Sentinel with Wolverine's bones. Now, let me explain this. Okay, so for those who don't know, the X-Men have been cloning themselves for like years now. And what they've been doing, they've just been leaving their dead bodies just all over the place. Don't even collect their bodies. So Wolverine has just been leaving adamantium skeletons all over everywhere that anybody can just pick up and just grab. So Orc can just grab one. They just grab the adamantium skeleton and stuck a Sentinel over it, and Sentinel goes kill Tony Stark. So that's going on right now. And meanwhile, Kingpin throws him a cane, and the cane is made out of Mysterium, that crazy ass metal that can't be beat. But the thing just throws it away, and then bam, slashes Tony in the chest. They're like, oh shit. Right before he can finish him off, the Emma shows back up in diamond form, and she's just like, dear, your shirt is all messed up. Why don't you go in the back room and change into another suit? And he was like, yes, dear. So he is bleeding out while trying to get to his lab, which is her sex dungeon. And then while he's clapping on her, he grabs her ring that actually turns her into a human. So he knows he got to get back to her before she falls to pieces. And yeah, so he got the new suit, and he's about to put the ring on her, which is going to turn her back human because it nullifies her powers, which means he can stab her at that point. And that's when, bam, Iron Man pops out, or should I say Mysterium Man, because that's what his entire suit is made out of, Mysterium. So this Wolverine Sentinel stabs him in the chest again, or tries to, and his adamantium claws bend against Iron Man's chest. So his suit is stronger than adamantium.
Okay.
Like, oh, shoot. Yeah, and he takes the skull and crushes it. An adamantium skull crushes it with his bare hands.
Okay.
So like, oh
so,
shit.
but didn't he make those Sentinels, right?
He didn't make them. Orcus.
Oh, I mean, Orcus did. Orcus took
Orcus
Stark Tech and
they took his company and then they made him because they took his IP or whatever. So then he walks out and Emma says the only reason she came back because she wanted to get his presents. And she was like, and the present turned out to be weapon. So there's an Iron Sentinel outside waiting for them right now. And then Emma's just like, oh, I bet you give weapons to all you women, don't you? And Tony's like, well, yeah, I do. And so they fire him up and blam, they both blast him, and then he cut the head off of him. And then she's like, okay, dear, don't wait up. I got some more stuff to handle. And then he flies over they still doing that married thing. So he flies to Australia. For those who don't know, they didn't read X-Men in the 80s. The X-Men used to be working out of Australia for some reason. It's a long verse. Anyway, Orca sees him, Phelon like, fuck that, I'm gonna kill Tony Stark. I know he's going, I'm gonna kill him now. And then Riri built a machine for him back in Mars and they sent it to him right now. And they think it's like a whole bunch of mutants doing an invasion. It's not. Phelon said, fuck that. I'm gonna go to Australia and I'm gonna kill Tony Stark right now. So he goes, bam, blows up the suit, and then runs out and he's like, I'm gonna go to Australia right now. How does he get there? In a giant War Machine armor. That's what he's got. So he jumps into like a huge kaiju suit and he's gonna pilot it and fly to Australia and kill Tony Stark.
Go Power Rangers.
Thank you. That's what it reminded me, but I couldn't think of the top of my head. So yeah. So anyway, Phelon commands every single Stark Sentinel to go to Australia to kill Tony Stark right now. And if they don't get there, or at least get there by the time he gets there. So Tony's just there waiting, but it turns out that shit that Riri built wasn't a ship. They were parts of a giant mech suit himself. His Iron Man suit was just a pilot for this suit. So he's also in a giant mech made out of Mysterium.
Okay, then.
So yeah. So
no shit. That sounds pretty cool. You know what? I might read the next issue now.
It's gonna be a huge kaiju battle. He's in a
Hell
suit.
Yeah.
Phelon's in a suit. The end. So yeah. So that's what's going on right now. Like I said, I've been enjoying this book. They about to wrap this shit up. The X's finna start falling. Emma, they basically had a little note that Emma's in the X-Men books. You can find out what she's doing, shit like that. Maybe Emma and Tony Stark will keep that thing going. You know what? I hope they keep going after this. I hope this ain't like a one-time thing and stuff like that. I hope they stick it out for a while, see what happens. So yeah. Overall, this issue 45. Another 45. I'm gonna get a 45. Yeah.
It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like fun. Like I said, they have a metal more powerful than adamantium. So I want to see what they do with that. So, yeah.
Is it what was that discussion? Me and Gomer, we were talking about from, was it Dark Knight's metal, the X metal, or the 10th metal, or the nth metal?
Yeah, the
Remember?
nth metal. Yeah,
the nth metal. Like, could that be stronger than adamantium?
Well, it is. It is because let's not go down. I was about to go down that rabbit hole. I'm like, nah, let's not do that.
DC, yo, in a multi. All right, yeah. Well, I guess my turn now. So you gave it a 4 out of 5?
I get a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I'm sticking with the book. I'm really enjoying the Iron Man books. Nobody else is reading them, but I've been enjoying this book the whole time. So yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll do Duke number 3.
Okay.
So this is the Image's new Energon universe where the Transformers and G.I. Joe have met. So the Transformers book is awesome right now. Daniel Warren Johnson, dope shit. And then we have Joshua Williamson writing Duke and Cobra Commander. Both really a lot of fun. This is Duke number 3. So Duke, responded to that whole thing in the Transformers comics where giant robots were fighting, and he saw Starscream. He saw a jet turn into a robot. And but the thing is, nobody believes him. G.I. Joe doesn't believe him. The American government doesn't believe him. So he goes AWOL. You know, he's like, I'm gonna go find this out. You know, because they won't let him investigate it. So he goes AWOL and goes to try and find out what's up. You know, teams up with Clutch, another G.I. Joe character, gets thrown in the pit, which is the G.I. Joe jail by Rock and Roll and Stalker. And so we pick up from the last issue where Duke is in the pit, the G.I. Joe jail, along with Baroness. Yes, Baroness is back. She's in the pit with Duke, and they basically escape. It turns out that the Baroness has, I guess, there's a hit put out on her, and Major Blood shows up to break into the pit and kill her. So in the ensuing chaos, Major Blood shows up, a bunch of Cobra soldiers, big old action scene. They break into the prison. People are getting shot up, and in the chaos, Duke and Baroness escape, and that's kind of where we're at. Oh, and then Baroness shoots and kills Major Blood. So
okay, Major Blood is that
this he's the guy with the eye patch? Yeah, him. He had like a metal arm, and he usually had an eye patch.
No, eye patch.
That's him.
Okay.
Oh, there's his helmet on the floor. By the
so it is him. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, he had like a Darth Vader type of helmet, and he usually wore an eye patch, and he had like a metal like robot arm.
Sounds like him.
So he's an assassin. He's like a Cobra assassin. He breaks in the prison with a bunch of Cobra soldiers and shoots up the place. But then Duke and Baroness escape right before Baroness shoots and kills Major Blood. So I thought, oh shit, he showed up and died. So, so yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a lot of fun. It's if you're into G.I. Joe, the old G.I. Joe comics or cartoons, this is a lot of fun. There was a cool conversation between Baroness and Duke earlier on in the book where, Baroness is sort of talking to Duke like, yo, you were like the greatest American hero. You dedicated your life to being in the military and fighting for your country and American ideals. And look what happened to you. The first time they didn't believe you. And then they throw you away. Where do your Lord, like, basically, why do you put your faith into this this patriotic bullshit? It was kind of a cool little commentary right there. I thought was funny. You fight for the American way, but the first time that that you see something they don't believe, they don't believe in you. Right when you see this giant robot, they throw you away. They discard you like you're nothing. What do you, was it worth fighting for? Was it really worth it? Yeah, it was kind of cool, but other than that, this is Joshua Williamson.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever went a week without doing at least one Joshua Williamson book.
Yeah, he is pretty much writing everything.
He's at every company.
Yeah.
Can you read that? I can't read that. Are there any DC stories you want to be animated or live action? I'm trying to read this. I'm struggling.
I know. I would love a Green Lantern.
Blackest Night.
Blackest Night story. Oh yeah, that would. Blackest Night is.
I'd love to be animated. I don't know if it can be. That's the only thing. I don't know if Blackest Night can, because you got so much stuff going on. Because it's not just a Green Lantern book; it's an everybody book. Like Luthor shows up. You got all these other blue lanterns, red lanterns, yellow lanterns, Black Hand, zombie Batman. Yeah, I'd love for it to, but I don't know if that could be done. I don't know if that's doable. That's on my thing. That is
a cool story though, and animated. It's weird because the animated DC movies are pretty cool.
Yeah, a matter of fact, I think part 2 of Crisis comes out. Oh shit, this month or something. I guess I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for the HBO Max, but yeah.
Yeah, like just for shits, like I said, I watched Aquaman 2 the other night, and then it came up on that. You also might like Throne of Atlantis, so I watched that, and I'm like,
much better movie.
Yeah, I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So all right, gets back on me.
Oh, this gets a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Duke is still fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're hanging in there. All right, so last book I'm going to do is, and Eli, you didn't have to read this. was asking if you did. If you didn't, the world keeps spinning. It's okay.
Okay. Immortal Thor. I
Thor,
fell off of this. I read like the first couple issues, and yeah, man, I fell off.
Here's the thing. I fell off also. I fell off before you did. But the reason I picked this book up is, and it's a very strange reason it picked up, is because it's telling the story of Utgard Loki again.
Oh, okay.
Now, for those that ain't kept up, Utgard Loki is a thing that's been around actually for centuries. But not only that, they've told the Trials of Utgard Loki story in Thor comic books before. So they're doing it again. They're like, well, why are we doing it again? Why are we telling the story that we've already told in the comic books before? That was told
Al Ewing this time.
Because it's Al Ewing this time, because he wants to tell the trial of Utgard Loki, even though they've already told this story. Because it's like an old Norse legend. Like, this is a thing. So they're just doing this. Let's just jump into it. Just go what we got. See what we got. So, yeah. All right. So, and no, that is not Battle Cat on the front of the cover. So, yeah.
It's not a He-Man comic. Yeah.
It's not a He-Man, even though Thor does get confused for He-Man sometimes. Yeah. So basically, the Thor's also. So basically, it's Loki telling a story, because Thor doesn't remember like the Utgards, Thor, Utgard Loki, and he basically like, yeah, you fought him before. I'm telling you the story of what happened. So they find Utgard Hall, and they go in there, and they sneak in, even though Thor doesn't want to, but that's the only way they're going to be able to get in. So they sneak in, and they find, bam, Utgard Loki. Now, Utgard Loki is different from regular Loki, because the thing is, remember, this is from old Norse mythology and tales where they didn't write the stuff down. It was just told from story to told from person to person. So variations of this story has happened. So maybe at the beginning it might have been Loki, but it's not Loki now. So that's Norse mythology for you. So anyway, Utgard Loki's here, and he's like, I'm going to put y'all against some trials to face me. That's what's going on right now. And Loki's just like, well, and Thor's like, okay, well, let's fight then. Let's do this shit. He's like, Loki's like, nah, let's do an eating contest. You're like, eating contest? You're like, matter of fact, let's make it a drinking contest too. And then Thor smacks the shit out of Loki, like, you shut the hell up. Don't detect this for me. But anyway, let's do the contest anyway. So they do a eating and drink contest. So Thor has a drinking contest, and Loki has a. Let me get you in there. There you go.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so Loki has a eating Loki has an eating contest, and Thor has a drinking contest to test their might. And Loki opponent is that guy. Can't remember that guy's name, but anyway, some scrawny looking dude like that. All Loki has to do is out eat that guy, and he wins a contest. That's it. And all Thor has to do is just drink that horn. Just drink the horn, and he wins. That's it. Meanwhile, he takes 3 good gulps, and he hasn't even started to finish drinking the thing. Meanwhile, Loki's eating that, and the guy eats the whole table. You're like, what the fuck? Like the skinny ass dude? Yeah, he beat me. And Thor can't even finish the horn at all, and he falls to pieces. So they fail the first contest. Meanwhile, while Thor's on the ground puking his guts out, somebody's reading a comic. Who's reading a comic? Dario Agger. Now, this is one reason why I want to pick this comic up, because this is very important right here. So, for those that don't know who Dario Agger is, he is the CEO of Roxxon. So,
yeah, so he was in Immortal Hulk. He had like a major storyline in Immortal Hulk. He was part of that run. Yeah,
he debuted in the Jason Aaron Thor comics. So yeah, but anyway, so Roxxon keeps popping up like that. So here's what happened: Roxxon has bought Marvel. They own Marvel, everything, the movies, the toys, the merchandising, the comics.
That's everything. Right. Because what was it, Zemu or whatever? That was that Zemu arc in that Immortal Hulk run. It was like similar. Like, yeah, he was like bringing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Because it was about propaganda, or what was the thing that the Mandela effect? It was about all that.
Yeah, the Mandela effect and product placement and corporate commercialization and manipulating public thinking and. Go ahead.
So everything you're saying, what you just said, is happening here, but it's different. So yes, So Dario Agger, Roxxon CEO, has bought Marvel Comics. So any comic he picks up, he can see exactly what they're doing in real time. So he can see Thor, and he can make him fuck with the story and tell the story different, stuff like that. Fuck with him. Turn Thor into a chick. Do whatever he wants to do. It's commentary. I see what Al Ewing is doing. It's commentary.
Yeah.
And then the what's the new Scourge is over there, seeing what they're doing. He's like, why do you give a fuck about the comics, man? They're like kid shit. Let's get out and fight them. He was like, nah, don't talk like that about these comics. These are weapons we can use against them. So Scourge is playing them off. They're like kid shit. This ain't real shit. And Emma, and not Emma. They should look like Emma Frost. Now to think about it. Anyway, Enchantress. She's just like, no, let's let Dagger, Ariel, the Minotaur guy. Let's let him do his thing and see what he does. So yeah. So we go back to the story.
Yeah, very Granty Morrison-y.
It's getting to that level. It's getting to that level. Yeah. So they finished. They got two more contests to finish. So Loki has to just outrace this guy, this barefoot guy. His name is Lucky or whatever like that. So all he got to do is just outrace him. And matter of fact, Loki even put on like some special speedster sneakers to outrace this guy because he's cheating. Didn't care anyway. And when he races, the guy still beats him. Like shit. Okay, so what goes on now? So Thor has to do is wrestle an old woman, and she kicks his ass. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this old woman kicking my ass? So yeah, and basically, like let up on him before you kill him. So yeah. So here's your third test. Thor, all you got to do is pick up that cat. That's it. Okay, just pick up a cat. So he tries to pick up the cat, and he can't pick up the cat. Right, and the cat like morphs and shit like that, and turns to a monster and start attacking him. You're like, what the fuck is this? Oh, and I think that's the last story. I think that's it. Oh yeah, so we find out what's really been going on. So, like I said, in the original Utgard Loki story, basically he's like a magician or this magic guy that has like reality warping powers that can make people think whatever they want to think. But in this one, he stole a thread of eternity. So that's how he used reality warping power. So it's like Al Ewing is morphing this story into the Marvel universe. He's making it fit into Marvel. This centuries old story. So I like that. And he's telling them how those guys beat him. So that skinny guy that beat Loki in the eating contest was really disguised as fire, because fire can never satiate its appetite.
Consumes everything.
Exactly. It's fire. That's the thing. You can't out eat fire.
Deep. Getting deep.
And that kid that outraced Loki was really Loki's own thoughts. You can't outrace your own thoughts because your first thought is always ahead of you. Yeah. So what about Thor when he drank that horn? That horn, he was really drinking the sea. And that's why there's low tides in the sea right now where he was drinking, because he almost did drink the sea, but he can't drink the entire sea, And that old woman he was fighting, Lady Death. So that's all that Marvel shit
like Lady Death, Thanos' old girl.
Yeah,
or
Thanos, Lady Death, Deadpool, Lady Death, that Lady Death. Yes. So Al Ewing is putting a Marvel twist on the century-old story, because I think it was like Old Age or some shit in the old book, but it's Lady Death in this one. Okay, and that cat was the Midgard serpent. So yeah, so that's why he couldn't pick it up, because it wraps around the entire world. So yeah. But Lord of Loki is just like,
So he marvelized. Yeah. So yeah, he marvelized like an old Norse mythology like legend. Yeah.
Right. He did that. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, like when Dario Agger was reading the comic, when he was talking and Loki was narrating the story, Loki actually heard him. He was like, wait, what was that? So Dario Agger is trying to become the new god of stories, basically. That's the whole thing. He's trying to take Loki's spot. So yeah. And yeah, and the thing is, they find out. So we know about an Utgard Thor. We know about an Utgard Loki. What if there's an Utgard Odin? Dun dun dun. To be continued. So yeah, that's going on right now. So that's what's going on right now. So, and like I said, they have told this story in the Thor comics by itself so many times. Matter of fact, the issue. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if the issue I can pull up. The issue that Dario Agger was reading was actually Thor 272. I read that comic also. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Yeah, if you zoom in, it's Thor 272. That's the first time they told this story in there. They've told it again. Matter of fact, we reviewed this story on this podcast before, like maybe like a year ago, because they already retold the story. So, but I like how Al Ewing marvelized it, and plus put his twist on it. So I'm not mad at him telling the story again. It's a clever story. And matter of fact, if you read the original story or however they tell the story, it stuck very close to his guns, other than the Marvel shit like Eternity and Lady Death and stuff like that. But everything else, pretty much what it was. So yeah. So
Cool.
overall, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, because I this is one of my favorite Thor stories in general, Marvel or anything. This is one of my favorite Thor stories to begin with. That and Ragnarok. Ragnarok is awesome. Not the Marvel comics stuff. The Thor actually, no, it's lore.
The actual story.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, awesome story. I might be back on you. Honestly, Eli, you left at the wrong time. You left the Thor comic at the wrong time. Did you make it to the Thor core?
No. The Thor core. No.
The Thor core, yeah.
No.
Storm, Beta Ray Bill, Jane Foster. Yeah, they all teamed up.
No, didn't make it that far.
Yeah, man. The Thor guy. I might review that. I ain't gonna review it, but I might talk about it or drop a link or some shit like that. Anyway, that's all I got. So
yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much me. I mean, I did read that Wolverine, that Sabretooth War is still going on. Kind of a filler book. And then I read the Hack Slash.
Okay.
That I read that was pretty cool too. But then Spider-Punk. So the new Spider-Punk. I just want to mention this. I thought it was okay, but my TikTok video, my most viewed TikTok video is from, I made a TikTok of the Spider-Punk from like a year or two ago, when they first brought back the comic, right before like Across the Spider-Verse came out. You know, there was a Spider-Punk comic, and then there was a picture of Taskmaster, only he looked like the Misfits skull, the Crimson Ghost. Yeah. And then he said, if you're going to scream with me. So I took a picture of that and put it on my TikTok, and I had a Misfits song. You know, because that's from he was basically reciting Misfits lyrics. So I had that on my TikTok, and then once Across the Spider-Verse came out, that got thousands of views. It was like my most viewed TikTok. So
you're a prophet, Eli.
Yeah.
Listen again.
Yeah. But here's the thing: TikTok removed the song for copyright now.
Okay. Hold. Okay. So, did you actually like upload the song yourself, or did you go through the library with the song?
No, I went to their library.
Okay. So another thing what happened? You know about the whole UMG thing?
No.
Okay. So TikTok had a whole big thing about UMG. I actually thought about talking about it on this podcast, but like, there's no reason to talk about that on here. But you just gave me a reason to talk about it. So yeah. All right. So yeah. So TikTok had this whole thing with Universal Music Group, where they don't want to pay them like the money that they owe on there. So Universal Music Group just removed all of the music off TikTok. Now I don't know if who's the band you did again? I'm sorry, I'm not.
Misfits.
Okay. So I don't know if Misfits is with Universal Music Group. They may or may not be, but if they are, that's why the music was removed.
Yeah. So my most viewed TikTok video got kind of like removed. So
damn. Okay. That sucks.
Yeah, but it had to do with Spider-Punk.
Okay.
But other than that, the Spider-Punk book was okay. You know, I chose not to review it. You know, so
cool.
So yeah, other than that, I'm booked out.
All right. So yeah, next week I don't know what we're gonna do next week. What's big coming out next week? Something I don't know.
Maybe I'll finish up Avatar and talk about.
Yeah, if we don't do anything, he'll finish up Avatar. So yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Definitely check out this Geeks and Comics. They dropped the show yesterday. I got on Gomer about because he didn't drop a link in the actual Facebook group, and I'm like, dude, I can't find you. So yeah, like I shouldn't have to search for your group, you know. I mean, search for the podcast. So he put it up this time. I got a chance to listen to it, got a chance to watch it. So those guys still on point. They talk about pretty much same stuff we did, but they go in more deeper than what we do. So yeah,
I'm sure Gomer probably went way into Duke.
Oh man, they might have just make it just a Transformer Duke podcast. I like, why even bother that and Star Trek? That's it. Just talk about that and just fuck everything else.
Well, yeah. Well, they used to do a Transformers podcast. It's sort of a Hasbro podcast. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Hasbro Universe podcast, when IDW had all the Hasbro properties and shit.
Yeah, because they go balls deep into that. So yeah. So like I said, we'll come back next week. We'll talk about some, or Eli will just do Avatar and I'll smoke a cigarette or some shit. I don't know. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
too rich to drive a Rolls. Made a milli out the stove. She like to put it in her nose. Pretty bitch with white toes. I done put it on all the bros. I done put her in the road. I done put up in the ghost. I done reached all my goals. Yeah, pull up with Yeezy and dollar sign. I'm all about business, I'm man of mine. Pull up in the trees like Caliban. Pull up with a record like number 9. I don't want your hoes. Your nigga reach all the goals. Let her suck the dick, said she was a pro. She straight with teeth, I'ma tell her to go. Go. Hair so good, she on the road. She ride a dick like a carnival. I done did the impossible. Go. Hair so good, she on the road. She ride a dick like a carnival. I done did the impossible.
She ride it like she's facts. We turn up to the max. I whop her from the back. I gave that bitch a cramp. They love me out in France. In the hood, I'm good, I'm stamped. Every day I dress all black. For sure 900 racks. But the East Coast double that. On my neck a bubble back. On my wrist new Cadillac. Cause I all don't want a bag. Little bitch, I'm a superstar. These hoes wanna fuck my car. My dog put a nigga in park. Gotta watch out for the noise. Ay.
This the Game of Thrones, Yeezy not the clones. Elon with my rocket ship, it's time to go home. They served us the part since the day we was born. Anybody pissed off, gotta make a drink the urine. Now I'm Ye Kelly, bitch. Now I'm Bill Cosby, bitch. Now I'm Puff Daddy Rich. That's me, to me rich. What she said my dick? And she said she ain't said my dick. She gon' take it up the ass like a ventriloquist. I mean, sis Taylor Swift. Since I had the rolling on the wrist, I'm the new Jesus, bitch. I turn water to Chris. This for what they did to Chris. They can't do shit with this. Got my kids in a fake school. We ain't. Go. Hair so good, she on the road. She ride a dick like a carnival. I done did the impossible. Go. Hair so good, she on the road. She ride a dick like a carnival. I done did the impossible.
She ride dick like a carnival. Been over having flashbacks, she gon' eat me up like a carnival. It's the way I pop my shit, the hoes not ready. I'm going barnacles. Moving to feel like a Jason, can't get arrested, I make them start mode. She want a private session, roll out them X's when I'm on Melrose. She tatted my name on her titties, yeah you could bust it, but it's a borrow. Sitting back counting up doors, I was raised in the barrow. She wanna taste the chicken and sweat today, ho, come back tomorrow. If you know what I know, how's your hoe? Just off the fence, don't having them honchos. Running around in the lobby, I know that they tired me, having like 10 hoes. She needs some credentials just to be presidential. I'm out to buy some dentures, make the hoe eat me for dinner. Pain, all in my eyes, I can't see. I'm out to jump out my body, I'm ready to leave. I'm out to nut on her body and tell her hoe leave. 50 mil stuff in the bag, tell the whole gang eat. The Jake and body, tell me who fucking with we. Oh, I like the Carter, I'm feeling that hoe in my sleep. Dollar signs all in my dreams, I don't never see Z's. Wow, this way, cover my body like it's a disease. Wow.